Grazie Antonio, thank you very much. Thanks everybody for being here. It's always a great pleasure to me to be with you today, and it was really such an amazing night yesterday night where we had really the possibility to taste amazing wines, you know, from the past. As you may know, I represent the third generation of my family. At the beginning, it used to be my grandfather. As many of people of that time, my grandfather used to sell grapes, he used to sell wine in barrels. And let me say 10-15% of the production was just bottled for the local market, for workers that used to have a bottle of wine in the vineyards with them. And it was my father in the 70s that stopped to sell grapes, stopped to sell wine in barrels, and he decided to bottle 100% of our property. The first vintage, for example, of the Gavarini Chiniera that we have today was 1978. And since 1995, when I finished to study, I joined the winery. This is something that to me is really important, I want to tell you. I was lucky enough to have my parents, my mom and my dad, that none of them really pushed me to do what I'm doing now. As you know, for us in our area is a tradition, you know, that especially the son, luckily not anymore because I have two daughters, you know, continue, you know, the tradition of the family. So my father and my mother really give me the possibility to do what I really want to do. I have an economic school, and then this was really my passion. And that's the reason because since '95, I really joined my parents. I was helping my father working in the cellar, working in the vineyards. I always said I learned a lot of things from him. And my father today is 81 years old, and he's okay, but sometimes he's still teaching me because with his big experience can give really me a big help. And but of course we talk about the past, but let's talk also about the future. And that's the reason because, excuse me for my emotion, because I decide this trip to have with me my wife and my closest guys that are working with me in the cellar. Because for me, this is a part of my dream. You know, everybody of us that we are, let me say, young, and we have a dream. So, and to grow a dream, we have to, of course, behind a bottle of wine, there is a family. But the family is not enough. So, and to have the possibility today to have my wife Francesca, please say hello to me, and Enrico, Beppe, and Federica. You know, I give them, you know, I would like to have you with me because you can see where your work is going. Because it's not just me, it's not just Elio Grasso, it's not just my father. There is a team, and everybody really trusts in our project. And let me say, without them, maybe today, I don't know if I was invited by Antonio, you know. So they work really hard. They know, let's talk about Enrico, for example. Enrico knows really how to handle barrels, the vinification. You know, we have a good, really good, how do you say, collaboration. We are critic. I mean, we taste our wines, then we buy bottles from our colleagues, and they said, oh, his wine is better than us, you know. And so we try to understand, you know, why. And then we have also Beppe. Beppe, he is working in the vineyards. He wants to have the vineyards as a garden. Because my father always teaches us that it's a single details that really make a big difference. So there is not just to do one thing and then you're going to get something great. All several small details that at the end make something very, very important. And then there is also Federica, she is 24, 25, I don't remember. She is our how do you say, jolly, you know, she does everything, you know. And all these people in together, they have the passion. They have the passion, they have the love of the land. And this is something that makes really a big difference. Talking about the 2019 to me was one of the most classic vintages that we had in the last years. I mean, a vintage to me is based on 4 seasons. Of course, the last one, the fall, is, let's say, maybe is the most important. But it's very important to have a very strong winter time where we have, for example, snow, cold temperature, frozen temperature. It's very important to have in the springtime, dry time, and a little bit of showers too. In 19, the summertime was absolutely not so hot. I mean, we had temperature that was really in the normal time. But the most important thing on the 2019 vintage was the fluctuation of temperatures that we had between the day and the night. Not 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees Celsius. We had a gap of 15 degrees Celsius. So during the night was cold, and during the day was, let's say, 22, 23 degrees Celsius. With this, the days we were able to get what I'm always looking for, the phenolic maturation. So to get this grape ripe is my goal. The harvest time for me is my hardest time because I'm spending a lot of time in the vineyards tasting berries. For example, if you are there and you try to divide the single berry from the bunch and all the bunch is still following your hand, so that is not an easy division, that means that the grape are really not ripe, you know. And then you put the seeds in your mouth, and the sounds is not crunch enough. The seeds, they must be 100% brown. In 2019, to me, was one of the longest vegetation cycle. This is the last vineyards that we picked. The 2019 was picked at the end of October, so very long vegetation cycle. And the idea was to pick the grape on that day, and then it was back again to double check. And it is a feeling between you and the vines that at the end give you the input, okay, tomorrow is the day. I mean, of course, we have analysis that then tell you the acidity, the pH, sugar content, all the numbers, all numbers. Just numbers. It's important that a winemaker, in my opinion, first of all, is a grape grower, is a connoisseur of the nature. Behind our Gavarini Chiniera, is like, it looks like an amphitheater. We have all the forest. It could be an amazing, how do you say, an amazing position to plant some vineyards. But for us, it's very important the biodiversity too. So it's a combination between, you know, bad animals that are trying to do something in the vineyards are eaten by the good one that lives in the forest. So it's a great combination. So for us, it's very important that when we know that we are playing the nature, at the top of the list is written respect. Organic, biodynamic. I 100% agree, but don't forget that when we talk about our area, we are the grape growers. We don't want to go in the vineyards with gloves or mask. I have 2 little daughters that, luckily for me, they love to come with me to play, to try to do something. I don't want to have them to tell them, no, please stay back because here something is wrong. Absolutely not. For us is our life. So is that's the reason, because the most important thing is that we have to respect the nature. And playing with the nature, we never win. We really have to understand the best situation of that time. Talking about the vinification of the Gavarini Chiniera, is very classic, traditional. We do at the beginning pumping over, we do delestage, and then we do submerged cap. So we keep down skin and seeds longer than is possible. In 19 was like close to 40, 45 days. And then the aging was done in the large big barrels of Slovenian oak for almost 3 years. So I hope really that tasting this wine, you can really taste, of course, our terroir, and maybe first what my family did and what me and my team we are doing today. Thank you very much.